So you've been eating clean, you've been hitting the gym, but that little pocket of lower belly fat just refuses to go away. It's incredibly frustrating, I know. You're doing everything right, or so you think, yet that one area seems completely immune to your efforts. It can make you feel like you're failing, or that maybe it's just impossible for your body. I hear this from people all the time, and it's one of the most common sources of discouragement on a health journey. It's enough to make anyone want to give up and just accept it. But what if I told you there's a scientific reason why this specific fat is so stubborn? Recent research is shedding light on the unique biological properties of lower abdominal fat, explaining exactly why it's the last to go and the first to arrive. This isn't about some magic pill or a one weird trick that will melt it away overnight. I'm not here to sell you a fantasy. This is about understanding your own biology, the real mechanisms at play inside your body, so you can work with it, not against it. It's about being smarter with your approach. By the end of this video, you're going to have a clear, evidence-based understanding of why that fat is so hard to lose. More importantly, you'll know the key lifestyle levers and specific strategies you need to pull to finally target this area effectively. We're going to break down the science and give you a practical, actionable plan. So, if you're ready to finally understand the why and learn the how to make that stubborn fat vanish for good, stick with me. Let's get into it. Before we get into any specific exercises or fat-burning foods, we have to establish the fundamental law of fat loss. It's the bedrock upon which everything else is built, and without it, nothing else we discuss will work. I'm talking about a sustained caloric deficit. It's a simple concept, but it's non-negotiable. Your body stores excess energy as fat. To get rid of that fat, you have to force your body to use its stored energy. You do this by consuming fewer calories than your body burns in a day. It's a simple energy equation. Energy in must be less than energy out. Think of your body's fat stores like a bank account. Every time you eat, you're making a deposit. Every time you move, breathe, and just live, you're making a withdrawal. To shrink the balance in that account, your withdrawals have to be larger than your deposits over time. There's no way around it. You can't spot reduce fat from your belly by doing crunches if you're still in a caloric surplus. Your body will just pull energy from the food you just ate, not from your fat stores. The first step to losing fat from anywhere, including your lower belly, is creating this energy gap. A healthy, sustainable, and effective target for most people is a daily deficit of about 500 calories. This isn't a random number. There are roughly 3,500 calories in 1 pound of body fat. So, if you create a 500-calorie deficit each day over the course of a 7-day week, you'll have a total deficit of 3,500 calories. This translates to about 1 pound of fat loss per week. This steady, consistent pace is key. It prevents your body from going into starvation mode, helps preserve precious muscle mass, and makes the whole process feel manageable, not like a punishment. Now that we've established that a caloric deficit is king, let's talk about the quality of those calories. Because while the quantity determines if you lose weight, the quality can significantly influence where that weight comes from, fat versus muscle, and how easy the process feels. Your dietary choices are the second critical piece of this puzzle. The fastest way to sabotage your efforts is by filling your limited calorie budget with processed foods, sugary snacks, and refined carbohydrates. These foods are often low in nutrients, don't keep you full, and can spike your insulin levels, which is a hormone that actually promotes fat storage. The focus needs to shift towards whole, unprocessed foods. Think of it as upgrading your fuel source. You want to prioritize lean proteins, things like chicken breast, fish, tofu, and legumes. Protein is incredibly important because it's highly satiating, meaning it keeps you feeling full for longer, making it easier to stick to your calorie deficit. It also has a higher thermic effect of food, meaning your body burns more calories just digesting it. And crucially, it provides the building blocks to maintain muscle mass while you're losing fat, which is essential for a healthy metabolism. Alongside protein, you need to load up on fiber-rich carbohydrates and healthy fats. Fiber, found in vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, slows down digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, and keeps you full. Healthy fats, from sources like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil, are vital for hormone production and overall health. They also contribute to satiety. By building your meals around this trifecta, lean protein, high fiber carbs, and healthy fats, you're not just cutting calories. You're providing your body with the high-quality nutrients it needs to function optimally and burn fat efficiently. This makes the entire process more sustainable and effective. This next point might seem almost too simple, but its impact is profound and often underestimated in the fat loss journey. What you drink is just as important as what you eat. We spend so much time meticulously planning our meals, but then we mindlessly consume hundreds of liquid calories that completely derail our progress. Sugary drinks like sodas, sweetened juices, fancy coffee creations, and even some sports drinks are calorie bombs that offer practically zero nutritional value. They don't fill you up, they spike your blood sugar, and they contribute directly to your daily calorie intake, making it much harder to maintain that essential deficit. The solution is simple and incredibly effective. Make water your primary beverage. Your body is about 60% water, and every single metabolic process, including the process of breaking down fat for energy, known as lipolysis, requires water to function correctly. Being even mildly dehydrated can slow down your metabolism, meaning you burn fewer calories at rest. Drinking enough water can also act as a natural appetite suppressant. Sometimes when you feel hungry, you're actually just thirsty. Having a glass of water before a meal can help you feel fuller, leading you to naturally eat less. If you find plain water boring, don't use that as an excuse to reach for a soda. There are excellent, healthy alternatives. Unsweetened green tea is a fantastic choice. Not only is it hydrating and calorie-free, but it also contains antioxidants and compounds like EGCG, which some studies suggest can give a gentle boost to your metabolism and fat-burning processes. You can also infuse your water with lemon, cucumber, or mint to add flavor without adding calories. The key takeaway is to be mindful of your liquid calories and choose hydration that supports your goals, rather than sabotaging them. Okay, we've covered diet and hydration. Now let's talk about exercise. While all movement is good, if you want to specifically target fat loss and get the most bang for your buck in terms of time, high-intensity interval training, or HIIT, is a powerful tool. HIIT involves short, all-out bursts of intense exercise followed by brief recovery periods. Think sprinting for 30 seconds, then walking for 60 seconds, and repeating that cycle. This method is incredibly efficient at burning calories in a short amount of time, compared to steady-state cardio like jogging for 30 minutes. The real magic of HIIT, especially for stubborn fat, happens after the workout is over. This type of training creates a significant afterburn effect, scientifically known as excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or EPOC. Because you pushed your body so hard, it requires more oxygen and energy to recover and return to its resting state. This means your metabolism stays elevated for hours after you've finished exercising, so you continue to burn extra calories long after you've left the gym. This prolonged calorie burn is a huge advantage when you're trying to maintain a caloric deficit. What's great about HIIT is its versatility. You don't need a fancy gym or special equipment. You can do it with bodyweight exercises like burpees, high knees, or jumping jacks. You can do it on a stationary bike, a treadmill, or by sprinting in a park. It can be adapted to any fitness level. If you're a beginner, your all-out interval might be a fast jog, and your recovery might be a slow walk. As you get fitter, you can increase the intensity and duration of your work intervals. This adaptability makes it a sustainable and highly effective strategy for boosting your overall fat-burning potential. Now, let's get into some specific movements. It's crucial to remember what I said earlier. You cannot spot reduce fat. Doing abby exercises won't magically melt the fat off your stomach. However, what these exercises do is build and strengthen the underlying abdominal muscles. So as you lose the layer of fat on top through your diet and cardio, you'll reveal a toned, strong core underneath. The scissor kick crunch is an excellent exercise because it specifically targets the rectus abdominis, particularly the often neglected lower portion. To perform this move correctly, you'll start by lying flat on your back on a mat. Place your hands behind your head, lightly supporting it without pulling on your neck, or you can place them flat on the floor by your sides for more stability. Lift your head and shoulders slightly off the ground to engage your upper abs. Then, lift both of your legs about 6 inches off the floor. This is your starting position. The key here is to press your lower back firmly into the mat. If you feel it arching, you need to adjust. You might be lifting your legs too high. From this starting position, the movement begins. Keeping your core tight, lower your right leg until it's just a few inches from the floor. As you bring your right leg back up to the starting position, simultaneously lower your left leg. The motion should be slow, controlled, and fluid, like the blades of a pair of scissors opening and closing. You should feel a constant tension in your lower abs throughout the entire movement. Avoid using momentum. The goal is to make your muscles do all the work. Aim for 3 sets of 15 to 20 repetitions, focusing on perfect form over speed. Our next move comes from the world of Pilates, and it's a classic for a reason. It's called the 100, and it's a fantastic exercise for building deep core strength and muscular endurance. Unlike the scissor kick crunch, which involves a lot of leg movement, the 100 is an isometric hold for your legs and an endurance challenge for your upper abs and arms. It teaches you to maintain core stability under tension, which is a functional strength that translates to better posture and a stronger back. It's a real test of control and stamina. Here's how you do it. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Engage your core and lift your head, neck, and shoulders off the mat. From here, lift your legs into a tabletop position, with your knees directly over your hips and your shins parallel to the floor. For the full version, you would straighten your legs out to a 45-degree angle. Now, extend your arms long by your sides, hovering a few inches off the floor, with your palms facing down. This is your static holding position. The 100 part of the name comes from the breathing and arm movement. While holding this position, you'll begin to pump your arms up and down in a small, controlled range of motion, about 4 to 6 inches. You'll inhale for 5 pumps and then exhale for 5 pumps. You repeat this breath cycle 10 times, which adds up to 100 pumps. If you're a beginner, this can be very challenging. A great modification is to keep your knees bent in the tabletop position, or even keep your feet on the floor. The goal is to maintain that abdominal curl and keep your lower back pressed into the mat the entire time. The power move. The jackknife. If you're looking for a more advanced move that really challenges the connection between your upper and lower abs, the jackknife is it. This exercise is powerful because it forces you to fold your body in half, using almost pure abdominal strength. It requires coordination and a strong core to perform correctly, so it might be one you work up to. But its effectiveness at engaging the entire length of the rectus abdominis, especially the lower portion, is undeniable. It's a dynamic movement that builds both strength and control. To set up for the jackknife, lie flat on your back with your legs straight and together, and your arms extended straight overhead on the floor. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to simultaneously lift your legs and your upper body off the floor, reaching your hands towards your toes. Your body should form a V shape at the top of the movement. The key is to keep your legs and arms as straight as possible and to initiate the movement from your core, not by swinging your limbs or straining your neck. Slowly and with control, lower yourself back down to the starting position. Don't just flop back onto the mat. Controlling the eccentric or lowering phase of the movement is just as important for building strength as the concentric or lifting phase. because this is a more demanding exercise. Focus on quality over quantity. I'd recommend starting with 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. If the full version is too difficult, you can start with a bent knee jackknife, where you tuck your knees towards your chest instead of keeping your legs straight. This reduces the lever length and makes the move more accessible. The lifestyle foundation: sleep, stress, and rest. We've covered diet and exercise, but there's a third, equally important pillar to successful and sustainable fat loss: your foundational lifestyle habits. You can have the perfect diet and workout plan, but if your sleep is a mess and your stress levels are through the roof, you are swimming against a very strong biological current. Poor sleep, for example, directly impacts the hormones that regulate hunger and appetite. It increases ghrelin, the I am hungry hormone, and decreases leptin, the I am full hormone. This makes it physiologically harder to stick to your caloric deficit. Stress is the other major hormonal disruptor. When you're chronically stressed, your body pumps out cortisol. While cortisol is necessary in small doses, chronically elevated levels can lead to increased appetite, cravings for unhealthy food, and, most relevant to our topic, an increased storage of fat specifically in the abdominal area. That's right, stress can literally tell your body to hold on to belly fat. This is why incorporating stress management techniques like meditation, deep breathing, spending time in nature, or even just listening to music is not a luxury. It's a critical component of your fat loss strategy. Finally, let's talk about tracking and rest. Tracking your progress, whether it's with photos, measurements, or just how your clothes fit, provides valuable feedback and motivation. It shows you that your efforts are paying off, even when the scale isn't moving. And just as important as the work is the recovery. You need to schedule rest days. Your muscles don't grow in the gym, they grow when you rest. Overtraining can lead to injury, burnout, and elevated cortisol levels, all of which will halt your progress. Optimizing your sleep, managing your stress, and allowing your body to recover are the essential, non-negotiable elements that make everything else work. 3 hard truths about lower belly fat. All right, we've built the plan. But to truly conquer this, you need to understand the enemy. I want to share 3 hard truths about lower belly fat that explain why it's so uniquely stubborn. The first truth is about circulation. The fat tissue in your lower abdomen, as well as in areas like the hips and thighs for women, has a higher density of alpha-2 adrenergic receptors compared to beta-2 receptors. In simple terms, alpha-2 receptors tell fat cells to hold on to their fat, effectively putting the brakes on fat release. This area also tends to have poorer blood flow, making it harder for the hormones that trigger fat release to even get there in the first place. The second truth is that genetics play a major role. Your DNA provides the blueprint for where your body prefers to store fat. Some people are genetically predisposed to storing fat in their abdomen, while others might store it in their thighs or arms. This is something you can't change. You can't rewrite your genetic code. This is why 2 people can follow the exact same diet and exercise plan and get different results in terms of where they lose fat first. Understanding this isn't an excuse, but it should help you be more patient and compassionate with your own body's unique process. The third truth is about posture. This one doesn't change the amount of fat you have, but it dramatically affects how it looks. Many of us, due to sitting at desks all day, develop an anterior pelvic tilt, where the pelvis tips forward. This posture pushes the abdominal contents forward and out, making the lower belly appear much larger and more pronounced than it actually is. By strengthening your core, as we've discussed, and also strengthening your glutes and hamstrings, you can correct this tilt. Improving your posture can create an instant visual improvement, making your stomach look flatter even before you've lost a significant amount of fat. The final piece of the puzzle. So there you have it. The science, the strategy, and the hard truths. We've talked about creating a caloric deficit, optimizing your diet, hydrating properly, and using targeted training like HIIT and specific core exercises. We've also covered the critical importance of sleep, stress management, and understanding the unique biology of this stubborn area. You now have a comprehensive, evidence-based toolkit. This isn't a quick fix. It's a blueprint for a sustainable lifestyle change that will deliver real, lasting results. Remember, consistency with these principles is what separates those who succeed from those who stay frustrated. You are now armed with more knowledge than 99% of people who are trying to lose that lower belly pouch. You understand the why behind the how. This knowledge is your power. It allows you to be strategic, to be patient, and to stop falling for the myths and misinformation out there. Implement these strategies, trust the process, and be consistent. The results will come. It's a journey of applying these principles day in and day out, and your body will have no choice but to respond over time. But everything we've discussed today, the diet, the exercise, the lifestyle, sets the stage. It gets your body into a fat-burning state. However, there's one final critical step that unlocks this entire process and specifically helps to overcome the biological resistance in that stubborn lower abdominal area. It's a technique that can amplify everything you're already doing. And that is exactly what I'm going to reveal in my next video. So make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you there. Stay alert, stay healthy.